Alright, just as we expected, new Dev Insight Arsenal. This was my backup plan for today, so this is what we're doing right now. So, Brave Arsenal's coming out. I'm going to put the link to this in the description in case you want to review it yourself, but we're just going to take a look at what's included in here. Starting off, just a brief description. I'm not actually going to sit here and read this at your own pace, but here you go in case you want to pause the video. Now, getting into the actual perks and the guns. I'm going to be comparing these to all of their current and non-current versions. Starting off with new Forbearance. New Forbearance will have in the third column Unrelenting, Stats for All, Demo, Ambitious Assassin, Surplus, Steady Hands, and Disruption Break. Fourth column, Wellspring, Golden Tricorn, One for All, Bait and Switch, Chain Reaction, Rampage, and Desperate Measures. Essentially speaking, the only real updates that we're getting to Forbearance that it doesn't already currently have is going to be Disruption Break and Demolitionist, of course. And it looks like, compared to the old version of the Forbearance on the right side of the screen, they're going to be removing Sleight of Hand, which is just a bad perk, and it looks like they're going to be removing Turnabout, which also is not a fantastic perk. There's been a meme going around for a while that the only thing that could power creep Forbearance is Forbearance. This is just a free version of Forbearance that has the same and better perks on it. This is a no-brainer. All of these, in my opinion, are no-brainers. I'm not going to repeat myself after every single weapon, but you should be using the new version of these unless you aren't too terribly attached to the individual origin traits, in this case Soul Drinker. So for Succession, it looks like they're keeping the gun the same. The good old-fashioned reconstruction Vorp weapon is going to be available. You can also get Firing Line and Box Breathing. It just feels like that they're removing quote-unquote useless perks in the sense that they're getting rid of Killing Wind and Slideaways in column 3, and they're getting rid of Thresh and Rampage in column 4. This new version, I'm not convinced is going to be better. It really just depends on the amount of ability regen that you're going to get from the new origin trait. We'll figure that out relatively soon, but Brain Inheritance is a good origin trait as is. Falling Guillotine is up next, that they say. Column 3, Vorpal, Relentless, Repulsor, Frenzy, Attrition Orbs, Chain Reaction, Duelist Tranche, and column 4, Surrounded, Whirlwind Blade, Destabilizing Rounds, Eager Edge, Bait and Switch, Sword Logic, and Desperate Measure. It's going to be a better version of Eager Edge. I'm just going to say it. The Slammer exists. It's in the game. I'm confused as to why they're bringing back Falling Guillotine, if only because they think that people aren't going to be able to farm for the Slammer, but even at that, it's just a confusing pick to me. The perks are good. This thing is going to be nasty. It's the first time we're getting Sword Logic on a weapon outside of Crota's End, in the same way that we've been getting Reconstruction slowly on weapons outside of Deepstone Crypt, and Rewind Rounds on weapons outside of Vaulted Glass. I don't know how it makes sense thematically. I'm not really questioning it. I just know that Falling Guillotine used to be a meta weapon. I hope it's not going to be a meta weapon again, but we'll just have to do some damage testing. Overall, Falling Guillotine, all of the perks are good. Next, everybody's baby, the Recluse, the one we were all concerned about on whether it could get double damage perks. No, it was never going to get double damage perks. Stop the copium. There was never even a chance that it was going to get double damage perks. We're looking at third column, Feeding Frenzy, Enlightened Action, Subsistence, Threat Detector, Repulsor, Hipfire Grip, Dynamic Sway Reduction. Fourth column, Master of Arms, Target Lock, Frenzy, Destabilizing Rounds, Surrounded, Tap the Trigger, and Desperate Measures. We'll have to see what the damage boost is from Desperate Measures. That is the new Last Stand perk that they showed off yesterday, but its name is actually Desperate Measures. You can get the original Feeding Frenzy Master of Arms if you really want to cosplay with the original Recluse, but apart from that, you can do some good Void builds with this. It rolls both Repulsor Brace and it rolls Destabilizing Rounds. It also has something like Target Lock and Frenzy. Target Lock isn't as good as it used to be in PvP, but it's still serviceable. Frenzy is overall just a great perk for engaged combat. I am excited for Recluse to come back. It's not going to be good as it used to be, but I do have some builds cooked up to use this thing whenever it does inevitably come out. The most changed weapon so far is going to be the Mountaintop, because instead of having the fourth column perk be dedicated to Micro Missile, Micro Missile is now an intrinsic. It is the frame of the grenade launcher, so that means I think we're going to be getting more Micro Missile frame grenade launchers in the future, because it won't just be Mountaintop. But This was old Mountaintop, the role everybody would use. Spike nades, rangefinder. You can't get rangefinder anymore in the third column. Third column, new perks, ambitious, impulse, demolitionist, lead from gold, slick draw, auto loading, and overflow. And fourth column, rampage, vorpal, adrenaline junkie, one for all, harmony, recombination, and frenzy. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, the perks look like they're going to be okay. This isn't going to be anybody's main weapon like it used to be. You know, it has auto-loading holster, it has vorpal weapon, it is a kinetic weapon, it is a special weapon technically, so vorpal weapon is going to be a good option as opposed to vorpal weapon on a heavy weapon. Vorpal weapon is still going to be doing that increased good damage. Face value don't look as strong as other grenade launchers like Forbearance, but this grenade launcher serves an entirely different purpose that most people haven't seen since 2018, since the days of Black Armory. So I'm excited for the Mountaintop to come back. The perks, they look serviceable. Up next, Hammerhead, my baby, one of my most used heavy weapons. Yes, I was that scumbag running around with Hammerhead in Gambit for years and years and years on end before it was removed, and even a little bit after it was removed. So, third column, Feeding Frenzy, Destabilizing Rounds, Envious Assassin, Rampage, 4 times the Charm, Rewind Rounds, and Under Over. Fourth column, Surrounded, High Impact Reserves, Target Lock, Onslaught, Killing Tally, Desperate Measures, and Tap the Trigger. Compared to its original version, this is a straight upgrade. Hammerhead is going to be much, much, much better. The fact that they were able to give it double damage perks, that being Rampage and everything in the fourth column, really, besides Tap the Trigger. This thing is going to be insane. I think doing some quick calculations, the combination of Killing Tally ×3 and Rampage ×3 will lead to a 69% overall increase in damage. I could be wrong. This is just looking at the footage that we were presented in the developer diary yesterday, so we'll see. I love Hammerhead. I miss Hammerhead. I'm glad that Hammerhead's going to be back. This thing is going to clear. It's going to be one of the best heavy weapons in the entire game. This is power creep personified. There won't be a single machine gun that is able to outclass this. The only reason you're not going to be using Hammerhead is if you need to use Arc or Solar for a machine gun for a specific build. But for all other reasons, if you need a machine gun, this Hammerhead that we're going to be getting through the Brave Armory is just going to be the best, most power creep weapon in the game. Uphead, Blast Furnace. Third column, Zen, Snapshot, Shoot to Loot, Keep Away, Perpetual Motion, Kinetic Tremors, and Head Seeker. Fourth column, Kill Clip, Firefly, One for All, Frenzy, Rampage, Rapid Hit, and Desperate Measures. Now, I sleep on pulse rifles that have Head Seeker, but third column Head Seeker plus a fourth column damage perk, this thing is going to shred. Mark my words, this thing is going to be the craziest pulse rifle we have almost ever seen. It won't be as good as base release exotics that we've seen in the past, like release No Time to Explain, for example. That thing was crazy. It's going to be really, really good. Now, the role I think I'm going to go for on this, I know I really haven't talked about specific roles that I'm going for. I like Zen Moment Kill Clip. I also like Zen Moment Frenzy. I like the idea of Rampage and Kinetic Tremors for PvE. This thing has Keep Away in the third column, so Keep Away plus any one of these perks, whether it be Kill Clip, One for All, Frenzy, Rampage, or Desperate Measures. Really, Keep Away plus a damage perk going to be really good for 6s. Edge trains that we haven't had in the game for a little bit, so it's hard for me to go by memory because you can't just pick this up from your vault, but according to the developers, it's going to be one of the highest damaging grenade launchers in the game. I have my doubts, but then again, I don't have the test build in front of me to test this out on. It's not even worth looking at the old Edge Transit perks, but new perks the Edge Transit's going to get. Chain Reaction, Cascade Point, Impulse Amplifier, Field Prep, Auto Loading, Envious, and Repulsor Brace. It sucks that you can't get Envious and Cascade Point on the same gun. I think it would be too strong if you could get Envious in the fourth column, or if you can Cascade Point in the fourth column. However, fourth column, Frenzy, Destabilizing Rounds, Deconstruct, Adrenaline Junkie, Bait and Switch, Full Court, and Explosive Light. The rolls on this thing that you're going to want to get are going to be Bait and Switch and Envious Assassin for those longer damage encounters. If you have a shorter damage encounter, like Warlord's Ruin, for example, Cascade Point Bait and Switch will be fantastic. This thing, it should be good. Will be as good as Cataphract? I don't know. I hope it's not, because I don't want to use it. However, we'll let this one slide. Up next is Luna's Howl. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not convinced that this thing is going to be all that unless the buffs to 140s that are coming in the patch in a couple of weeks are going to be significant. However, looking at the actual developer commentary for this iteration, it was kept as a precision frame. Precision final blows with Magnificent Howl will extend the effect to additional rounds because the number of precision final blows before reloading affects the number of total rounds granted with increased range and damage. Magnificent Howl will still 2-tap, but it's going to make it very easy to control, and it's also going to be a little bit more difficult to confirm those 2-taps. Now, this weapon only has 12 to 14 in the magazine, depending on the magazine perk that you do get. We don't actually know, but it's probably just going to be the standard magazine perks. It says that the Magnificent Howl bullets that you get are based off of the amount of precision kills that you get before you reload. They did change it. Before, it was rapidly landing 2 precision shots, increases the next shot's damage and range for a short duration. So this thing is essentially a modified multi-kill clip / Hawkmoon. You know, the Hawkmoon, the way it works is that the bonus damage is stacked onto the final bullet of the magazine, whereas the new version of Magnificent Howl is going to stack the bullets when you reload, depending on the amount of precision kills with the amount of precision final blows you're going to get. So, I think this is going to be, you get 2 precision kills, you will get 2 bullets back. And those 2 bullets, you will be able to 2-tap with those bullets, but nothing further than those 2 bullets. So the remaining 8 or 9, 10 or so bullets in the magazine will just be doing normal damage. If the Magnificent Howl bullets, kills with Magnificent Howl bullets, counted towards more bullets that you get, but we'll see. And this is all a we'll see. You know, I'm making this a little bit early. I had other plans, but I just wanted to cover this now because it is new and it is interesting to me. So, we take what we get, and we move on. Also forgot to mention, no, it didn't make sense to ship Not Forgotten in this release, but we're on the lookout for a good opportunity to bring it back too. So they're turning Not Forgotten into a break a glass in case of emergency release in the same way that these are all nostalgia bait weapons. I'm happy, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to complain about it a little bit. Up next, Midnight Coup. I miss Midnight Coup. Midnight Coup was my workhorse. It was everybody's workhorse because it was the best weapon in the entire game. And before, the only role you would use would be Rampage, Outlaw. That's it. You could still get Rampage in column 4. You can get Outlaw in column 3, so they should just switch it up. However, you can get something like Rampage, Explosive Payload Frenzy, you get Desperate Measure, Kinetic Tremor. I'm excited at the idea of a role with Firefly, Kinetic Tremors. I don't think it'll be that good. However, I'm going to use it. Big fan of Midnight Coup coming back. Hung Jury SR4. This thing has been re-released a grand total of 4 times, I believe. Yes, Season 14, Season 19, and Season 20. So, with the introduction of Into the Light, that will be 4 times. I don't even want to dignify this with its own spot. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's silly, quite frankly, that they're bringing Hung Jury back. It feels lazy. So, besides my whinging, third column, rewind rounds, enlightened action, kinetic tremors, rapid hit, shoot to loot, no distractions, and loose change. Fourth column, one for all, cascade point, box breathing, firefly, precision instrument, desperate measure, and explosive payload. You're still going to be able to get. I don't think this thing is going to be good. Quite frankly, these perks are all disappointing to me. I laugh because this thing sucks, man. Like, how are they going to bring back a gun, insist, like, they didn't even write more than 2 sentences. What was the point? What was the point of bringing Hung Jury? Elsie's rifle used to be the Stranger's rifle. The biggest comparison that we have is No Time to Explain. It'll be the same model as No Time to Explain. It'll be the same archetype, the same 340 pulse rifle, high impact. It'll be a high impact archetype. And yeah, third column, Feeding Frenzy, Zen Moment, Repulsor Brace, Loose Change, Keep Away, Under Over, Rewind Rounds, and fourth column, Journal Junkie, Frenzy, Destabilizing Rounds, Kill Clip, Desperado, Desperate Measures, and Head Seeker. We'll see how it plays. Be able to get this thing with Repulsor Brace, Destabilizing Rounds, Force and Void builds. That's Kill Clip, Zen Moment. I think that's the role I'm most excited for. If you want Copium, Desperado, sure. Go for it. This thing has Head Seeker in the 4th column. It has Feeding Frenzy, Zen Moment. This thing will be good. I don't think I'll use it that much because it is a secondary pulse rifle that is elemental. I'm torn on its element to begin with. It looks good. We'll just have to wait and see. Now here's where I get angry. This is absurd. There is no reason why these are time gated. It is fucking ridiculous to suggest that shit that we've already had for years needs to be time gated again before we can get it again. I'm so upset. I'm so confused. It doesn't make any sense. They made a good update and then they shot themselves in the fucking foot. Why? I don't know. I really don't know. That's all of them. Half of these will be available starting April 9th, including the Recluse, Hung Jury, Succession, Edge Transit, Elsie's Rifle, and Fallen Guillotine. So, of the 12 weapons that are coming back, they're introducing the bad 4, that being Hung Jury, Succession, Edge Transit, in my opinion, Fallen Guillotine, because Fallen Guillotine is just a less interesting The Slammer. And they're giving us Recluse and Elsie's Rifle. And then, over a month later, May 21st, we're going to be getting the remaining 6 weapons, one at a time, each week, getting 1 per week through May 21st. These are weapons that have limited time cosmetics. The special ornaments that you can get, you can only farm during Into the Light. It just makes no fucking sense. Like, good decisions, good update, counteracted by stupid decisions. Like, why? It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, I'm not going to yap on and on. I have a Twitter, as you can see, at TMParagon. You should go give me a follow if you haven't already. I'm done complaining. I've said my word about how angry I am at this decision. Thank you for watching this video. I hope each and every single one of you has a great day. Take care.